Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are on this world that's apparently still locked up everywhere. Well, in some places. I'm Jade. This is How to App on iOS. And this is getting the most out of your files on iOS. Hello. So, I wasn't really planning on this, but Pete, you've inspired me. Let's have a rant. Welcome to the show, everybody. I'll say good day to people in the chat, of course, first of all. So, Pete, hello. Thank you for your show. Just that went to air. Damien, hello. V2, Gary Hubbs, Tom Rochelle, SM Borthwick, Russ, Stu Cash, howdy do. Don't think I missed anyone. I don't have my glasses on, so forgive me. I really should have them on. So, my rant's not exactly the same as where Pete was going today, but it's inspired by it. So, in relation to scammers, let's start there. So, look, I get these emails all the time. I get them at least once every couple of days. I used to get one from a particular company called, now I'm going to stuff the name up on purpose because I don't want to throw them under the bus, but they were something like Bandolapalooza or something like that. And what they would do is they would collect a collection of artists who would then play at these gigs that you'd have to pay to play at these gigs, and depending on how many people you could get to come to the gigs would determine the winner, not on skill whatsoever. Nothing to do with how good of a band you were. So by the end of this, it went for about like 8 months, and they'd hold it each year. So by the end of the 8 months, they'd have all these little band contests all over Australia, all depending on a pyramid scheme to get people to come and see the gigs. And then at the end, clearly the artists that they're, in quotes, taking overseas to a big, in quotes, music conference full of music executives are going to get to hear a bunch of shit bands that are only there because they have a bunch of friends who aren't doing anything on a Tuesday night. Absolute bullshit. And I used to get those emails all the time. I will mention this company, even though, look, they're a legit company. And it is the most annoying band. It's always the suckiest band, you know. But there is another company out there who I do use, and, you know, I'm not trying to shit on them. They're called Reverb Nation. Now, I use them to put my music up there, to hear other people's music, because it is a really kind of band-centric website. But one of the problems I find with it is the nag scams that they send you all the time. Just sign up and pay for a year, the subscription, and you can get played on all these bullshit fucking absolute horseshit, man. I don't know anybody who's actually paid on Reverb Nation. I know quite a few people who have paid for Reverb Nation who've ever been pulled into some fucking music executive thing. It's bullshit. So, be aware of that kind of shit. Never pay to play anywhere. You are the product. You are meant to be being paid. That is the way it fucking is. And if all you're getting is gigs, well, we're not getting any gigs now because of the way the world is, but if all you are getting is offers of gigs where you have to pay to play in a venue, go busking. Guaranteed you will make more money busking than a year's worth of gigs. You'll make more money busking in a quarter of a year busking. You know, and I'm talking about if we were in an ideal world, which we're not at the moment. So, and again, be wary too. Like the email I got yesterday, I'll read it out to you. Let's see. What can I do here? I don't want to go, I did this yesterday. I'm just going to go here to this screen for a minute. So bear with me. I've learned my lesson from something because yesterday, if you're watching, you'll notice at the end of my show, I had some issues with my video and I had to re-upload it and it was very stressful. So let me find this email I got yesterday. Where are we? So it came through Bandcamp. And I'm just looking for it. Now, here's the irony, right? It was actually sent from Bandcamp to my band, which is called Filthy Maggoty and the C word. See, at least I'm clean enough not to use the C word in this show. And the dude was offering me the chance to record music with his recording studio. And I'm like, hang on a minute. And just the way it's written, have you actually read what my band's called? My band has the C word in it, stupid. Okay? Like, so here's the email. This was... I came across your music on Bandcamp, so I've had to look at it on Facebook so I can put it up here. I posted it to Pete today. I came across your music on Bandcamp and noticed that you have not put out any music for a while. Ooh, I'm a mixing and mastering engineer. And would love to explore the possibility of working together on your next release. Explore the possibility. Sounds like a porn film. There are some things I can do to make your songs sound extremely heavy. Wow. Yet keep the clarity intact. I don't know if this guy realizes FMC, my comedy joke grindcore band, we used to use a PlayStation as our drum kit. We try to make our music as unlistenable as possible. It's a complete piss take on metal. But he's going to give me clarity and everything's going to be intact. I really think it could make your mixes stand out to your fans. Our fans come to our gigs and eat penis bread rolls. I mean, our fans could give a shit about this kind of stuff. If he actually read about what the band was about, he would know. But I can obviously discuss in more detail with you. But first, I would like to find out if this is something you might be interested in. If so, would it be okay if I sent you a few ideas on how I can help? Peter McMahon, Castle Audio Productions, owner. I love the way they put at the end, owner. I'm not just some jobber who's like, unfucking believable, man. This is what a scam is all about. Like, they've taken no time. All they know is that my music's in the heavy metal section on Bandcamp, and they can offer me clarity for my heavy metal. I don't know, like, I wonder if they sent the same email to a black metal band that records all their album using a tape recorder to be as underground and dirty as possible. And they're like, we can offer you clarity, Mr. Equimanthorn from Sweden, who lives in the forest and spits fire. No. See, scams, it's quite ridiculous. The people that are out there. And, I have to admit, every day since starting this YouTube show, I never used to get these emails, but I get them on Twitter now, and I get them in my email box offering me to get thousands of subscribers on this for my show. And I don't need thousands of subscribers that I'm going to have to pay somebody for. Like, I want people to actually follow my channel because they're getting some value from it. I mean, I'm just somebody who's into making music, has been for a long time, and loves apps and loves talking about them and loves sharing anything I know with anybody who will sit here and listen while I slurp coffee in the morning. It's just the God's honest truth, sorry. Oh, yeah. Oh. So what I will end on, that's my coffee that I'm moaning about. I'm definitely not getting any sex. The last thing I will touch on is exactly what Tom has just mentioned in the chat here. And Tom has written, for those of you playing at home, if the owner of a record studio has to email people to get them to come to record, they must really be fantastic. Yeah, exactly. That's the deal. And that's what I want to end on too. Now, I don't often talk about it on this show, but I do a lot of private work away from making my own music, and I do a lot of mastering and mixing for artists. I make music for like podcasts and do theme music. There's a whole bunch of podcasts out there that I've made the theme music for. I do music for adverts. I also do video production for for people's music videos. I'm currently just about to start work on a massive project for a Australian death metal band, doing an animated video clip for them. Yesterday I finished a video clip for just somebody whose horse passed away just recently, so they sent me a handful of photos, and they paid me to put together a video for them. Funnily enough, why I'm mentioning this, using a lot of the apps that I've shown you guys on this show, because that's everything I show you on here, I use myself to do things. But you never really hear me on here advertising saying, hey, would you like to get your stuff mixed? Would you like this? Email me and I'll... But you can do so. But that's the way I operate. If somebody does message me and ask, then I can offer prices and all that kind of stuff. And I will give you an example. So yesterday, so I worked on this video clip. Now I'm going to have to turn down the sound on this because I just can't be bothered getting a copyright strike. So my friend, her horse passed away and she sent me a song and some photos, and she wanted me to bring the photos to life of her horse because the horse has passed away. So I put together this. I just turned down the sound, unfortunately, guys. So as you can see here, let's go full screen. So I used... God, what's it called? You know, I'll get to it. So I used 3 apps to put this together. And unfortunately, the quality of the photos this person had weren't very high a lot of the time. So I had to do the best I could. So as you can see here, I just took this photo of the horse and kind of animated it a little bit, put in some clouds and a rainbow, brightened everything up, kind of cartoonized the horse so it stood out, gave it a 3D effect, just to make the photos look more than what they were when they were sent to me, because there was a lot of low res stuff that I had to work with. And I only spent like a weekend kind of over this, and it goes for about 5 minutes, this clip, with a whole bunch of photos from this her horse. Yeah, I only use, like I have a high-end computer V2. I have a MSI massive gaming laptop, but I do all my stuff only on iOS. So that's basically it. I don't use my computer. I only got the computer for streaming. So yeah, there's that. But let's get into what we're talking about today. Rant over! We did 15 minutes. Cool, so we're going to be talking about the Files app today. Let's start off with adding your external hard drives and memory sticks and such to your iOS devices. Now, excuse my cable management, because yesterday I was doing a fair bit of video work, so I've had to rearrange a bunch of cables. But what I'm going to show you here is, so here's my setup right now, what I'm doing right now. There's my computer that is streaming, and so that's streaming the show. And then this is my iPad Pro, which I do everything on my Magic Keyboard. This little iPad over here, that has my theme music, which I play every morning. That's all that does, really, which goes into my mixing desk. So what I'm getting at is the plug that goes into, so this is a USB-C that is into my iPad Pro. I have 2 audio interfaces here as well. This one is just a spare at the moment, an old one. Everything goes into this non-powered hub, which has a multitude of things, as you'll see, attached to it, like my HDMI out. This here is my 7-port powered USB hub at the back, which has virtually everything. So it's got a memory stick in there. It's got a connection, a Bluetooth mouse. It's got my keyboard connected to it. It's got my drum kit connected to it over here. Whoops, camera's falling down. So my drum kit, that is all going into my hub, and that goes, and everything then goes into this little hub here, which is non-powered, into my iPad. But up here I also have a 2 terabyte hard drive. So there's a 16 gigabyte SD card in there. There's a 256 gig stick in here as well. And I think the stick in the back down there, there's a SanDisk one plugged in, is about 256 gigabytes as well. So now that you've seen all that, oh yeah, and my show is streamed up on, so I'm watching everything on my big screen TV because I'm blind as a bat. So that is basically how I have everything set up into my iPad, which you can see on the screen. Now, why do I have so many memory sticks and a hard drive and everything connected up to that? Because if you're running low on space, or you can't afford an iPad with a lot of space, or your iCloud is just, you can't afford to pump that money in, it's an idea to invest in a good little multi adapter to plug in some memory sticks, or an external hard drive, or even an SD card. You can pick up SD cards for like $60 that have 250 gig, 500 gigabytes, and then you have the ease of using that within the Files app. So let's jump into my Files app and have a look at what is going on. Okay, so what I'm also going to be covering today is what is attached to the Files app, as you can see along the side here, in regards to storage sites like Dropbox. As you can see here, I have a Box account, I have Dropbox, OneDrive, I have a Mega account, and a Google Drive account. Why do I have so many? Because why the fuck not? Because, a lot of these things cost money, and I look at it like I can't afford everything. So normally I'll pay money for one subscription service for space, which is iCloud for me. I pay for the 2 terabyte space every month. And that's my limit of what I'm going to spend money-wise. And all the rest of my little storage accounts here, my Box, Dropbox, OneDrive, Mega, and Google Drive, they're all just basic accounts. And I can shift stuff back and forward to there as more of a holding bay. Like, I definitely use my Dropbox as a holding bay. So something I just want to move off my iPad briefly to do some other stuff, have some space, maybe install an update or anything like that, and then I know once I'm done doing that, the space will come back. Say it's an update, an iOS update, and you need a gigabyte for it to download and then install, and then you get the space back. Then I would move something over into the Dropbox, do the update, and then drag it back from Dropbox back to where it was. So these are great little tips to do that for online storage. And as you can see down the side as well, I have Seagate. So this is my 2 terabyte hard drive. If I click on it, there we go. Then I have this 256 gigabyte hard drive, which you saw plugged into my little port. This is the memory stick that's in my powered USB, and here's a little 16 gigabyte SD card, which you could see in my port as well. So I've got plenty of options for space, and it's really important to have that kind of stuff. Okay, so let's have a look first at my iCloud. So my iCloud is full of stuff. I have a lot of stuff here, and the beautiful thing is also down the bottom here you'll see you can create your favorites. I don't know if any of you are this anal to do this, but I cleaned up some of my favorites. I normally have about 10 here, but I just reduced them last night to 2. Obviously my downloads, so that's the folder that anything I download from Safari will go into that downloads folder, and I can access it straight away from the side here. And underneath that is my Dread Circus Mix Masters. So when I click on that, this is all of my Aurea Pro files. It's not very organized at the moment because I'm currently in the process of moving a bunch of this stuff over to, as you can see here, my 2 terabyte hard drive. So when I click on this and head over to, where are we? Aurea. This is my album that I'm working on, my full album. So this is where I keep everything on my hard drive. The latest mixes get moved over to here, and that's whenever I've let's go back up to my iCloud drive. So whatever I'm doing in Aurea at the time, whenever I've done an update once a week, I drag everything across from Aurea and replace the files over on my 2 terabyte hard drive. Also, talking of space within your Files app, you don't have to have external hard drives and such. You can also have different places to store your files as well. As you can see by the side here, I have the mighty Documents app installed. If you don't know what the Documents app is, go through my videos and you'll find I'll put a card up for those watching on the replay. The Documents app is a fantastic little free app where you can store video, audio, you can connect to your computer, to other devices. It's a fantastic little free storage app that also connects through the Files app, so you can access your files through the Files app. Same with Audio Share. Audio Share is virtually the same kind of thing, but Documents just has a little bit more flexibility with file types. Both Documents and Audio Share give you the ability to be able to zip up files, just like the Files app has a compress option. So if you don't know about that, how to compress something, I can show you right now. Let's go into, and I'll show you with, now I don't know what this is. This is, it looks like a song. It's probably going to open up in GarageBand. I didn't want to do that. Yeah, it did open up. Where are we? Let's go back to files. So this is a GarageBand project, and it's trying to download it, it looks like. And I want to break down a myth that some people have. Now, when you are, a lot of people know this using GarageBand projects. If you're doing a collaboration with someone else and you're sending them a GarageBand project to work with, you will know by now, or if you don't, you will know after I tell you this, you will need to compress, zip up your GarageBand projects before you send them to somebody else to work on their device. No matter what, you will have to do that always, because it just works that way. Don't do it any other way. But if you are saving your projects to something like an external hard drive, you do not necessarily need to zip them up. Okay, and I will show you this right now. So we've got this track selected, this little 4.7 megabyte song, whatever it is. It's probably something which I should have deleted long ago. But I'm going to select this right now, and I'm going to move it over to my Seagate hard drive. So I've just selected the hard drive, and I'm going to hit copy. And this is going to move it over to my hard drive. So now when I jump over to the Seagate, it should be there. There it is. So my song. And now if I open that, you'll see I haven't needed to open that, to zip that up. But you'll get this warning as soon as you open anything up from an external hard drive using iOS. The current song is located on an external storage device. Avoid removing while the song is open. Otherwise, recordings or other data could be lost. So that means now, see, look, there's nothing in this file. Here am I telling you all about file management, and look, I've just opened up a file I'm saving in my amazing file system that has nothing except some drums. Yay. Awesome. But what is cool about this, now that this is opened up, when I hit close, instead of it being saved back into the GarageBand folder, it's been updated in the Files app. So if I go back here and have a look at it, you'll see updated today at 8:24 right now. So you don't have to zip up files if you're dumping them across to something like an external hard drive. And I can prove that again, because let's try again. So I'm going to jump into my Aurea projects. So these are my Aurea projects that I use for, obviously, Aurea Pro. Now I can actually open these from within Aurea Pro from the hard drive and don't have to zip any of them up. But as you will see, if we look at these folders, if we actually look at these files, I think if we do it this way, so we're going to iCloud. Let's see, where's Aurea? Where are we? I think it's on my computer. So if we go into Aurea here, look at this. So when I'm on the iPad, on my iPad, so this is on my internal hard drive within the Files app of my iPad Pro, and these are the projects that are being used in Aurea. You'll see they've got a .project at the end, kind of like how a GarageBand file is a .band file. But as you can see, it's this unknown file type that I can't really open, and you can see by over the side here, 3.31 gig, 1.3 gig, all the size of these projects are massive, but I can't open them up or access them, which sucks. But when I move them across to something like my Seagate here, my external hard drive, and here they are sitting here like this, they're the exact same files as you can see, but they have been turned into actual folders with all of the audio files available for you to play with, which is really cool. And the reason that is done also is because Aurea is really cool and lets you open up Aurea profiles on other doors on like a Mac or a laptop. So you can open up on a various amount of doors. They allow you to do that. But if I right now copied one of these projects back from my hard drive back onto my my iPad, this little folder would disappear because it would be back on the internal hard drive of my iPad, and it would know that Aurea is installed, and it would automatically convert this folder back into that file type, the little icon to suit that file type. So just an interesting thing. You don't have to zip up your projects if you're moving them to an external hard drive. You can if you want to feel safe about it, but I've done it multiple times and transported external hard drives back and forward. And I've had no problems. The one thing I will suggest is if you are thinking about using external hard drives within the Files app, make sure you format it. You will have to format the hard drive before you start using it. And I always format the hard drive to, what is it, X? I can't even think of what it's called. To X file. Is that what it's called? I'm having a good morning today. Which is compatible for Mac OS devices, for iPads, and for Windows devices. You don't want to just format your external hard drives only to work on Apple devices. You want to have the flexibility to actually move files back and forth to a computer, because you never know when... XFAT, thank you very much, Sion. XFAT. I should have realized the fat. Because of lockdown, I've been getting fat. And I have to look at it every day at my gut. So yeah, it's best to format your hard drive to exFAT, so then you can actually go to a Windows computer or a Mac OS computer or an iPad, because you never know when one of these devices is going to crash, and you have to open it on something like a Windows device. And hell, if the only person you know has only a Windows device, you're going to be thanking yourself later on for that. So exFAT is definitely the way to go. Always do that before anything else. So we've had a quick look at these audio share and documents. So what I'm going to go through as well, in the description of this video, I have put links to all of the things that I use here. So my Box account, Dropbox, OneDrive, Mega, and I can let you know the prices of this. So I'm just putting up the free options. So let me just bring this up on my screen, so I'm not spinning a bunch of bullcrap here. Let's see. So the prices, as you'll see in the description, what I've put up. So a Box account. Now all of these have apps too. That's the reason I've put them up. So they have apps that you can, and that's why you can integrate them into your Files app. So with Box, which is just box.com, you get 10 gigabyte for free just by signing up, and they've got an app. So that's cool. 10 free gig is nothing to sneeze at. It's another 10 free gig that you can use. Dropbox is the worst. I hate Dropbox because they're mingy scumbags who want to bleed you for everything that they've got. They offer you a whopping 2 gigabytes basic. Wow, thanks Dropbox. I also use an app called Mediafire. Now, this doesn't integrate into the Files app, unfortunately, but they give you 10 free gig as well, and an app also, which is really good for auto saving any photos you take on your device each day. Each day it'll just upload the photos. So an extra 10 gig just to save some photos is really cool as well. And it can save you space with your iCloud account if you can't afford to pay for a subscription to iCloud each month. And that shit can build up if you've got a couple of devices and you're doing backups. So also OneDrive, which is from Microsoft, they offer for free 5 gigabytes. I use my OneDrive a lot. Now, I was lucky with OneDrive, and sometimes you can be lucky with a lot of these accounts. They'll run specials where if you sign up at the time, you get an extra amount of gig for life. With OneDrive, I signed up to a telephone company here in Australia called Telstra, and because I signed up, I got 250 gigabytes for free for life. And I'm not even a Telstra customer anymore. So it was really cool. But the one I will bring up that everybody seems to forget is mega.co.nz. These guys give you 50 gigabyte for a free sign up and an app. And as you can see on my screen here, it integrates into the Files app. 50 gig is nothing to sneeze at. Plus, what's really good about Mega, so you would have remember who Mega is. They've got a long history of piracy back in the day. The dude who runs Mega is pretty dodgy, fled to New Zealand. It's a whole story, the rabbit hole you can go down. But they offer some really amazing encryption for free. Super encryption. So as you can see on my screen here, God, am I still showing my screen? Where are we? I've only got a couple of files here, but they're huge files. So one's a movie, I think, and one's all my drum samples, which I offer people for free if they want some drum samples. And it's a gigabyte. And I put it on Mega because Mega offer unlimited downloads for free. So that's really cool. So Mega is another one you can add to your service. All these links are in the description for today's video. I suggest you go get them. And not forgetting, last but not least, Google Drive that gives you 15 gigabyte for free. And as you can see, it's all integrated here. I can click on my Google Drive. I've got files there. I've got files in my Mega account. Got plenty of files in my, I use my OneDrive. I think I've got about, there's a lot of gig of stuff in here. My Dropbox from here and my Box account. And the great thing too is if you use a computer as well, a lot of these integrate into your computer as well. You can download the software and share all this back and forward. So if it stresses you out that you may have a Windows computer and using the Files app doesn't really connect that well with your Windows computer, this is a great way to transfer files back and forward through your Files app by shifting stuff into, say, your Box account, and you can install Box on your computer and shift things that way if you so desire. So this is a way just to open up some more options of sharing things across devices if you don't have all iOS or Apple products. So that's all I'm really... Oh, and another thing I'm going to remind you of. Now, see this file here? I don't know why it never disappears. It's some music file of one of my death metal songs called Cock and Balls. But no matter how many times I delete this file, every day, look at this, operation can't be completed. God damn you, fucking iCloud. I don't want to see this Cock and Balls fucking song. Sorry for my language. This thing pisses me off. It's here every day. But why I'm going to the recently deleted folder is, folks, when you delete stuff from your Files app, it doesn't always magically just disappear. It sits in this goddamn folder and it sucks up your memory. So if you are deleting files from within your Files app, once you've done a massive clean or whatever you've deleted, some 1 gigabyte file, always go straight to your recently deleted, hit select, hit delete, and clean it out. And just hope you don't have the dreaded cock and balls file. It just won't disappear from me. And this will permanently get rid of it. Yeah. I think my iPad's telling me something. Like every day it's like, are you sure you don't want cock and balls? Are you sure? Are you sure? Cock and balls, cock and balls. God damn, unbelievable. But yeah, remember to remove stuff from your recently deleted folder. It's really important. It'll save you a lot of stress. It'll stop your iPad or your iPhone from freaking out if you've deleted all. And there's nothing worse than the stress of going or doing a software update and it comes back saying, you don't have enough space. Remove some files. You go ahead, spend all this time removing these files. They end up in your recently deleted folder. You try doing the software update again and it says, you don't have any space still. And you're like, but why? Why? Apple gods. And you will find they're all still here because they keep the files in in the waiting room of death for 28 days. I mean, it's handy. And there's been a few times, many times actually, I've deleted something and gone, no, I didn't want to delete that. So thankfully stuff does go in there, but really start to train yourself to get into that habit. So that's all I'm going to cover today. Just a few tips on really just adding options to your Files app. I think we all know how to use the Files app by now. It's got better as we've gone on in time with our Apple products. Still room for improvement, but there we go. So I hope you got something out of this today. What are we doing tomorrow? I have no idea what we're doing tomorrow. I think we are going to be looking at, let's have a look, this de-esser from 4 Pockets. So a vocal de-esser. I've had a few people ask me to look at it, and it's on sale at the moment. So these 3 apps, as you can see here, Vocal Soloist, which I've already done a show on, de-esser FX and Exciter FX. You can actually buy them in a pack from 4 Pockets, and they're all on sale at the moment. Let's have a look. Yep, looks like they're all on sale. So they're all, Vocal Soloist is a couple of dollars off, de-esser is $1 off, and Harmonic Exciter is $1 off as well. So if you head over to the App Store to 4 Pockets, you may find, because they sell this in a pack, the pack could be on special as well. So I'm going to look at that de-esser tomorrow. Also, possibly next week. What do we get? We've got some new apps here I'm going to be looking at. So we've got this new compressor, as you can see here, this RSS compressor 609. I do have Bark Filter. I'm getting around to it. Xeon. So I've got a few apps. I got this the other day, this Jam Synth. I haven't really looked at it enough yet. So there's quite a few things I need to have a look at. And what is going on? Where are we? So I'm just opening this up. God, showing you all my chats. I think we have Satish. Let's bring up my music app. Hopefully this all works. So we have, on this week's show for interview, we have Satish Robertson, who many of you will know from the GarageBand Users Group. GarageBand Users Group, or Create, Record, Release. He's an amazing brass instrument player. He's going to be on the show on Friday, and we're going to talk about all things music. So that's going to be really, really cool. So stick around for that. And I can let you know the following week's interview, I have Jacob Hack from Hack Attack from his YouTube channel. He's coming on the show next week for a chat about apps and making music and beats and all that kind of stuff. So that's going to be really exciting too. So I hope you can all stick around for that as well. Anyway, folks, it is Wednesday here in Australia, which means every second day I have a workout and go for my 6 to 9 kilometer walk. So I'm going to wrap it up, finish my coffee and get my walking shoes on, put on some music. I'm going to be listening to the stylings of, who am I listening to today? I've already planned out today. I'm listening to... I can't remember now. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I'll let you know tomorrow. I'm just rambling now. Yes, Sion, awesome. Going to have Jacob on the show next week. That's going to be cool. So anyway, folks, you all take care. I hope you have a wonderful day ahead. I hope you make some nice music. I hope you make some nice friends. I hope you do really cool stuff. But most of all, I hope you keep doing the things that make you happy. And I will see you again tomorrow, hopefully. So until then, stay rockin'. Stay gangster. Stay doing the shit that makes you happy. Oh, yeah. Adios, folks. Bye-bye. And end scene.